Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we are talking about another very important topic in Evil Genius 2. No, I don't talk about gold. No, I do not talk about the world domination. I'm talking about my haircut, which I'm getting today. No, that wasn't it. But that is also important. No, we are talking today about the minions. Your lifeblood in your base. Because let's be honest here, you might be an evil genius, but you don't really make your hands dirty. That's why you have minions for. And we have to talk about how you get them, which one you should get first, what they can do for you, and how you keep them happy so that they are not running off to the forces of justice and tell them all about your evil plans. So, shall we? What are the first minions you get? Right from the beginning, you get the worker minions, which you can see here. Those are the men and women in the yellow suits who basically help you to build your base, and you just get them. You don't have to do any missions for them or pay them any money. They're just there because they really want to help you. Isn't that great? They build rooms and items, and they also operate smaller jobs, like operating some easy machines like those communicators, right? The radio repeaters they can work on, or the computer console, or they can, working the basic food counter, right? They're doing the basic job in your base. And again, you have them right from the beginning. But let's talk about the first minion you should get. How do you get minions? It's pretty simple. You get 4 side quests right at the beginning where you can just slowly go through all those 4 side quests and get all the minions from it. But there is an order to that, and you should really follow that order. So let's talk about the first minion you should get from that side quest, and that is the valet. Why should you get the valet? Well, because the valet has 2 very important abilities which will help you at the beginning immensely. First, they can run your casino, and you really want that casino up and running because you can make money from that, and you need a lot of money. So get those valets and start to scam the tourists, because you want the money. Second, they are also really good at deceiving forces of justice, because the forces of justice are coming through that door, and you can tell the valet to change their working mode from, let's say, scam the tourist to reduce the agent's skill, or this one, reduce the agent resolve, or the agent morale. Like, there are multiple things you can do to basically minimize the stats of the agents before they even enter your base, and then they're easy prey. So get the valet first. They can make you money, and they can help you to basically deceive the enemies. They can also operate most of the cover operation items, and you can later on send them also on scheme missions around the world, but we are getting to that in just a few minutes. The next minion you should get, and I know this might be debatable, but I believe the next minion you should get is under the muscle tree, and that is the guard. The guard is basically your backbone, or, they are there to break the bones of the forces of justice when they get into your base and things are going south. They are much stronger than the worker, and they are also the first minion in the muscle tree who can only use weapons. Like, only the muscle tree minions can use weapons. This is very important to note, because if you have played the first one, you might still remember that you could at least give pistols to the workers, and they were actually kinda capable with those pistols. That time is over though. No pistols for the workers anymore. And the only minions who can now wear weapons are the muscle minions, and the guard is the first one to do so. They are also very intimidating. Whenever Forces of Justice minion is entering your secret base, you can kick them out without bloodshed. And what do you think happens when a worker minion is coming up to the agent and is telling them, hey, you should leave, you're not allowed to be here? Or when the guard minion is coming up to them and is telling them, hey, you should really leave here, you're not supposed to be here. Like, yeah, I think they are a little bit more intimidating. So those are the men and women you want to protect yourself. So definitely get the guards as the second minion, in my opinion. And some of you might have already noticed this, but I said there are 4 minions you can choose from, and we have only 3 trees? How does that work? Well, it's pretty simple. There are 2 minions you are getting from the science tree. The first one is the technician, the second one is the scientist. Now, in the first Evil Genius one, the technician would later on transform into a scientist. That is not the case anymore. The technician is now their own thing. You can see this here a little bit. It's a little bit tough to see, but you can see that the technician is basically standing for their own and they don't transform into anything else, whereas the scientist is later on transforming into something better. And the third minion you want to get is the technician. Why is that? Well, the technician can do 2 things. First, they can also put items in rooms, so it's not just the workers, it's also the technician who can do that. But most importantly, they can repair your ish. As you can see right here, the technician is repairing this computer console and is upgrading this, or bringing it back, not upgrading, but bringing it back to 100%. Now, there is a big change from the first one to the second one. The technician is not running to a damaged item when it only lost like a few percent. In the first game, you literally had moments where like a reactor would lose 5 health and the technician is coming back who just repaired that reactor and starts to repair that reactor again. And you were like, why? Why would you do that? Right? They basically just repaired whatever was damaged. Now it seems like in Evil Genius 2, they take some time. You can see it right here, right? They are slightly damaged, they are not repaired yet, and this one will probably get repaired fairly soon. But yeah, you can see like some of those consoles haven't been repaired yet, even though we have a good amount of technicians. The reason is just they don't do that immediately. So yeah, they are very important for that. Now you might ask, but Mo, what is with the scientist? Why are you telling me that the scientist is like the lowest priority on that list? Well, the answer is scientists are cool because they allow you to do your research. The problem is they're freaking expensive. Getting the rooms set up with all the items you need to actually push science, that costs a lot of money in its own. And then the research tree is also not cheap. It starts with $10,000 or 10,000 gold for each tier 1 research, and when you are coming to the tier 2 research, it already costs 20,000. So yeah, research is not cheap. So you don't really have the amount of money to push the research really at the beginning, or you have to be much more conservative about it. So yeah, the scientists are not that important. This is why they are like the lowest tier on that list. So TLDR, get the valet first, then decide if you want to get the guard or the technician. I say you should get the guard. If things are going south, your workers won't do shit and your valets will just run away. They don't even fight, they just run away. So you want to get the guards, and then you want to get the technician, and then the scientists. Now let's talk about a few things which are also important to note and which have changed. First things first, if you have played the first one, and this might be a happy news for you, You see this? Yeah, that's a fire extinguisher. And the fire extinguisher could only be operated by a valet in the first one. Thankfully, that nuisance is now gone. Everyone knows how to use a fire extinguisher. I know, novel idea, right? Crazy. The next thing I want to talk about, which is very important to note, your guards get only notified where the forces of justice are on the cameras when they are sitting on those tables. Like this guard right here, he will not get a notification where the forces of justice are. So make sure that you have like multiple guard rooms throughout your base. Like I have one right here, and then I have one right there. And so whenever something happens, the guards on the tables will get notified and then they will go to that position. So that's another thing which I think is very important to note, so keep that in mind. Another thing is the Minion Manager. The Minion Manager is completely new, and you can see right here, you can now click on a minion, you can see what their vitality are, what their smarts are, and how the morale is looking like. And then you can also see their traits, how long they have been working for you, what their priorities are, what their current job is right now. And you can even tell them what their priorities are. Like you can see it here with Uma de Silva, which I've been telling that her priority is to do only deception. There is one little problem here. I would also love to tell the minion what they shouldn't do. Like let's say Uma de Silva has some amazing perks like strong right jab and hay fever, even though hay fever isn't too great. But let's say she has amazing perks and I don't want to lose her by sending them out on schemes. Keep in mind, whenever you send a minion out on schemes, they're gone. So I would love to tell her not to go on schemes. Yes, I know, when you send them on a priority, like they will ignore the other things most of the time, but it still isn't the same thing. Like, especially because you can only send them on one priority, right? So it's like, I would love to tell some of my minions not to leave. Regarding the traits, I think there will be a video down the road where we talk specifics regarding the traits, but right now I'm still trying to figure out what all those traits mean, because the game is not really telling me. Like, it's a lot of learning experience, but we will do that down the road. Also, another very important note is I'm happy to tell you that it is now much easier to keep the stats of the minions up. I think this was a big problem in the first one, that even if you had all the things they wanted, they sometimes ended up to not be happy with you. And you sometimes just wondered why. Like, you give them everything they want and they still don't really like it here. But now it seems like it is much easier to do that with a mess hall, with their archive, and this is the, I always forget the name, I'm so bad. I know it's the staff room, but I always forget to call it staff room. Yeah, when they have the staff room and all the things which make them happy, it is much easier to keep their stats just high. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Now, there is one last thing. So the last tip I can give you when it comes to minion training, and when we are talking about numbers, don't keep too many workers after you reach tier 2 on the world map. At the beginning, you need a lot of workers on the world map to do your schemes, right? Like every tier 1 area needs workers and only workers. But the moment you're reaching tier 2, you don't have workers anymore. Like you can see it right here, this is a tier 2 scheme, and it needs 3 guards, 1 valet, and 2 scientists, and no workers anymore. So the moment you're really transitioning on your world map from tier 1 to tier 2, just transform most of your workers and then only keep like a handful of workers so they can build your room if you need them. But like I'm doing it here right now is useless. Like I don't need 24 workers right now because, as I said, the workers are weak now. They can't handle their own. Like even a tier 1 agent can kill up to 4 workers sometimes. Like it's the workers are really weak. Like I know that a lot of people have played Evil Genius 1, and in Evil Genius 1 the workers were like just the toughest minions you could get sometimes. Like you could swarm the enemy, they could shoot, they still could pack a punch. Like workers were not weak in the first one. Here in the second one, they're cannon fodder, and you should treat them as such. So keep that in mind. But yeah, there was a deep dive on the minions and how to keep them happy and what they can do for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Evil Genius 2 content, other games, gameplay and trailer reactions, don't forget to subscribe, because that's what you are getting here. It's not just Evil Genius 2, believe me. And tomorrow, that is Friday, the 26th of March, we are also doing another live stream of Evil Genius 2 for 3 hours. Yes, we are playing the game for 3 hours, and we are starting at 10 a.m. ET, East Coast time, which is 2 p.m. UK time and 3 p.m. Central European time, and we are streaming on trovo.live/ChaosMole, and you'll find the link in the description. And again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, and most importantly, stay evil.